Yeah, yeah,
All
wonderful.
right. Welcome to the habits class. I feel science-wise, there was so much material. We could make this a multi-week course. So if you guys are really liking this topic, let us know in the chat. Maybe we could do another one. Um, but we're going to start by getting ourselves into a good mental and physical space so that we're able to think about habits a little bit more. So we're going to start with the experience.
Yes, yes. Julie, do you want to, for some new people that don't know us, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. I'm Julie Brzezinski Lewis. I'm a neuroscientist, and I usually present both science and a little experiential exercise in mindfulness or compassion.
Yeah, great. And Heidi?
Great. Hi, everyone. I'm Heidi Sherwin, and I lead yoga and breathwork classes and integrate meditation within all of that. And so today our practice is going to bring a more somatic physical approach to building habits. Great to be here.
Nice, wonderful. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So I'm Laurel Falconberry, and I'm an outpatient therapist at Chestnut Ridge and part of the mindfulness team for around 6 years now. And so habits, yes, you've come to hear about habits today. We all have habits. We all, lots of them are automatic pilot. They're just something that we've taken on and own. And lots of our habits we enjoy, and some of our habits maybe we don't enjoy so much. And so today we're going to bring awareness to those habits. We're going to bring gentleness, kindness to those habits, because some of you may be here with some habits going, oh God, I've got to stop that. It's my enemy. Oh, I battle with it. I battle with it. So we want to kind of take and reframe that and like maybe change the word from battle to work with and to understand better, bring some awareness and kindness to, so that we can understand why we do that. Julie and I were talking about, we don't smoke, but I have people in my life that smoke. And so they started maybe when they were younger to be cool, to fit in, you know. And then, smoking is highly, highly addictive. I mean, highly. So it's very hard to stop, as you who smoke know. But instead of battling with ourselves to do that or shaming ourselves for the habits that we don't like, let's try not to do that. Let's try not to. And so today we're going to work with some tools that can help us not shame ourselves and try to be aware and bring more kindness to that and work with ourselves, work with that, and more understanding of how did that behavior come to be? What need did it fill? Because those, too much this, too much that, too much food or shot, things that you're feel bad about with your habit, maybe a little shame. It started off as filling a need.
Mm-hmm.
It really did. It started off as filling a need. So we bring awareness to that and go, oh, it filled that need. I don't really want it to fill that need anymore. I want to, work with that and change that. So I'm not going to talk anymore right now. I'm going to help us to get into a meditative state so that we can work with what we're feeling in our body, coming back into our body. And this is mindfulness. It's coming back into the present moment, coming back into our body, aligning our mind, emotion, and body sensations together so that we can, with curiosity, connect with ourselves, really connect with ourselves in a deeper way. So, what I'd like you to try now, if you would like, you don't have to do this, is to pick a habit that you'd like to change, that you'd like to work with, that you like that habit to evolve into something else. So, whatever that is, and try not to pick something too emotionally triggering, something maybe on the mild side or something that you can deal with today. So go ahead and kind of in your mind, just kind of what would that be? Something as, little or, something relatively not too big, not too big. So now if And something may come to you. If it's not coming to you right now, in this meditation I'm going to lead, it may come to you. This is called riding the waves of your urges and cravings. So whether that urge is to yell, or that urge is to smoke or to eat, or whatever it is that you're wanting to change that habit, that behavior. So if it's comfortable, you can close your eyes. If not, you can take a fuzzy gaze like 2 or 3 feet in front of your lap. Just a fuzzy gaze down, or close your eyes. And let's just come into our breath right now. So let's take a couple of deep cleansing breaths, just kind of deep, filling up your belly and chest, and maybe letting it go with a sigh if you feel like. And then another deep cleansing breath when you're ready. And then letting your breath come back to a easy flow, a flow without holding your breath in any way or forcing your breath in any way. Just letting it flow gently and easily in and out. No holding or forcing in any way. Letting it be. And feeling your feet connected to the floor, the earth, for grounding. And feeling the full weight of your body on what you're sitting. Allowing your body to release any tension with your next exhalation, any tension in your shoulders or jaw. Noticing if you're holding any kind of contraction, if you're holding your body tense in any way. And just letting that go a little bit more. And now bringing to your awareness this habit, this automatic thing that you do that you'd like to make peace with. Whatever that is, bring that into your awareness. What's happening in your body when you bring that into your awareness? What sensations do you notice in your body when you're thinking about that habit that you'd like to work with, that you'd like to befriend, actually? What are you feeling in your body? Maybe in your stomach, or your chest, or your head? What thoughts are coming to you? Notice those thoughts. And feel yourself getting close to doing that behavior. Actually feel yourself getting close to whatever it is, smoking, eating too much, or yelling, or a behavior that's not serving you well, that you'd like to, in a way, make peace with. So notice when you think about that, when you think about doing that, how does that feel in your body? Do you feel some contraction, any tenseness, any emotion? Do you feel any fear? Do you feel any sadness? Whatever that emotion is, observing it. Just observing it without judgment. Try to catch yourself if you're feeling some judgment about that. Just observe it with a kindness, with a gentleness that you would if you were with a 5-year-old. That almost that 5-year-old self of yourself. So notice that in your body, what your thoughts are, any sensations, any tingling, any contraction of the heart area or the stomach or the mind, the brain. And then just kind of riding like you would on a surfboard on a wave, kind of riding that urge or craving to do that particular habit. Kind of stay with it, Just noticing. Again, just awareness with what's going on in your body and mind and emotions. And if it's a little too much, back off. You can come out of it and open your eyes, or just ride that wave. Ride that wave a little bit more. And noticing how it changes in your body. Noticing what your thoughts are. And noticing that wave kind of dissipating a little bit. Kind of letting it go. Like, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. Huh. Wow. What does that feel like when I say that to myself? I don't have to. What's the feeling? And just awareness. This is like taking an inventory. It's like you're curious, and this is an experiment. This is an experiment with yourself. You getting to know you better. So the wave is dissipating. It's coming down. You're feeling your feet on the ground. You're feeling an awareness. And you're kind with yourself with this. It's like an experiment. How can I benefit from this exercise? This self-awareness? How can I help myself? So slowly, slowly, notice your breath in your nostrils. Notice your next inhalation. Is it cool or warm in your nostrils? And the next exhalation, is it cool or warm? Feeling your body. And your next exhalation, relaxing just a little bit more into this present moment. Feeling your feet grounded to the earth. And whatever you're feeling now is okay. It's all okay. Whatever you're feeling, validate those feelings. Let them know they're okay. They're here to talk to you. They're here to share what they need. It's that conversation with yourself. So slowly, when you're ready, open your eyes. Just take it in. Just notice what you notice. It's all okay. This is the beginning. This is just the very beginning of you becoming more aware of this habitual habit pattern that's not serving you anymore. It's just the beginning. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to move into body experiential now with Heidi.
Hi, everyone. If you haven't already and you want to switch to speaker mode so that I am full on your screen there, go for it. Actually, I think I can I'll spotlight myself. Sometimes I forget to take the spotlight off, so I'll try to remember that when we switch back to Laurel. So, Laurel, thank you so much for that. So beautiful, really putting us in the element here. And for the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to get more into the body and movement. And if you've been with us through the series, or if you've taken our Mindful Steps classes, you've kind of heard me say before that for me and the way I find these mindfulness practices to really bring me into the now and to support me, it is through the more somatic physical activities. So through postures and through the feeling of the movement of my breath. So that is what we're going to focus on here. And we're going to actually start with movement in our hands and creating a mudra, or it's simple, it's a hand posture is what a mudra is. It's a shape you can make with your hands, just like you can make a big shape like warrior two, chair pose, which we'll do in a little bit. But we'll start with the hands and bring in a breathing practice that will then move into grander shapes into the body and standing postures. And I chose standing postures today to bring in little more activation into our legs, into our lower body, and this quality that we can awaken, even if it's just for a bit, just standing on our own 2 feet. And when we're riding the waves on a surfboard, we can get knocked over, but we can also find our footing again. So when we tap into just any amount of tone and energy in the legs, kind of starts to build that inner confidence in what we're doing in the grander schemes of life, breaking habits, building more healthy habits. So the hand posture I'd like to show you, it's a hand lock. So I'm not going to be mirroring you here. You're going to take your right hand and place it in front of the chest, but turn the palm out, your thumb will be down. And then your left hand, just bring it in front and then hold on to your fingers and you create a hand lock. And you can relax the shoulders, elbows out to the side. And I've heard Laurel say this before that, when we're going into mindfulness and our own self-care, right, we're like holding hands with ourselves. And this hand posture to me symbolizes that. This, like, I'm holding hands with myself here. I'm holding hands with the part that, is like trying to get through these habits that maybe aren't serving me anymore. And I'm also holding hands with the self that is like pulling me through, saying, you got this. We're going to take a little step. We're going to take a little step. And we find that integrity together here. So for a moment, just hold on. You don't have to pull too hard. Just hold hands with yourself. You can rest your thumbs towards the fingers, or sometimes you can, just release the thumbs if that's more comfortable. And as you're holding the shape, first just start to notice what you notice. How does it feel? Shoulders soft. Elbows can drop just a little bit as you hold this shape in front of the chest. Maybe you like it up high or maybe a little lower. And then as you hold this shape, start to turn your attention to the breath, your breathing body. And if it's comfortable today, I'm going to introduce you to a breath practice called Ujjayi, and that is the breath of courage or a victorious breath. But it's a breath that has a sound element to it that's very soft, almost like a whisper. So that as you're breathing in and out through your nose, you have a very gentle constriction of the vocal cords, and it creates a whispering sound. Sometimes I like to start it by noticing the inhale if I was just barely snoring and what that might sound like. And then as I exhale, I also create that very gentle constriction of the throat. And it's just a soft whispering out of the breath. If it doesn't feel comfortable to do that today, just staying with the smooth rhythm in and out through the nose. But through the holding of hands with this shape and through the breath, you have the sense of touch, the hold, you have the sense of sound with the breath, to bring you into the moment, to connect you to your why. As Laurel said, it's, what are these habits? How are they no longer serving you? How do you ride the waves to change course? And there's always a why within that. And sometimes we get the wave away from the why, and then we do things to help us come back. So maybe tapping into your why you want to move away from the habit that you explored in riding the waves. We're going to re-greet this posture of the hands in a little bit, but take 2 more breaths here, connecting to breath. And then slowly start to release the hands. Maybe twirl out the wrists, because even like big postures, we want to release any tension that the shape may have created. And then a few postures standing. If you're comfortable to stand, if you have the space to do so, coming up and out of the chair, or you can still sit in the chair and maybe just do the arm actions with us today. So allowing those arms to relax, maybe shake out the hands again from the hand shape. Dog's gonna join us today. Right, and land into your mountain pose. And settling into the legs from the hips down to the thighs to the feet, and land where you are. Feel the floor coming up to support you. There's a little lock into that as well. The feet meet the ground meets the feet. You're not alone in this process of standing. Let the floor hold you up for a moment. And then in your mountain pose, come back into that ujjayi, breath of courage. Again, if that's just not a breath you want to be doing today, just allow the body to breathe smooth and steady. And now with your arms, with your breath, listen to an inhale. And as the breath comes in, bring the arms forward and up. And as you exhale, just bring them straight back down. We're going to do just one more of those. Bring the arms forward and up. And then as you exhale, arms down. Now we're going to add the legs. As you reach the arms up, if you want to add the legs, you could just do the arms. You're going to bend the knees, sit into a little chair. And now feel the floor, push the floor down as you stand back up, exhaling arms to your side. We'll do two more of those. Inhale into your chair. Exhale, stand up and out. And sometimes this is a metaphor, like getting up and out of the chair to do the things we need to do. Well, standing back into your mountain pose. Take a moment, let that calibrate for you. And then riding the waves, we're going to take warrior two, getting on your surfboard. So feet are going to step comfortably wide in a wide stance. And now take your right leg and turn it so your toes are facing off to the right, off to the side. And your left toes kind of just face forward in front of you. Right. And now take your arms back up to that high reach you just did in chair. Take a breath in. And then with your right knee, bend the right knee a little bit or maybe a lot on your surfboard and let the arms come halfway down. And then as you inhale, come back up. Use the energy of the legs to help the movement. Come back into the bent knee. Maybe look over that right hand. Look out into that space in front of you. Reach back up. This time, land back into your warrior two and simply be in the shape. Surfing the waves. I can find stability in these waves. I might fall, but I can get back up. And then releasing that, arms can reach up. Feel free to bring those arms up and keep them there. But if you need a little break, shake out the arms. Turn the legs the other way. Left toes facing way out to the side. Right toes can face straight in front of you. Comfortable through the legs. Take a big breath in. And now bend into that left knee. Bring the arms halfway down, looking in front of you or maybe to the left. And now use your legs. Straighten that left leg again. Give yourself a big lift of the arms. Exhale back in. And just find your wave and flow back and forth. We'll take it one more time, reaching the arms up. And then back into your warrior two. Gaze out over the left hand if that's comfortable for the neck. Breathe, find that ujjayi, breath of courage to ride these waves, steady into the legs. I can, I will. Breathe. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then arms rest by your side, turning your legs to more neutral. Walk your legs in just for a moment, shake them out. And then for our last shape, coming into horse stance. So in horse stance, I'll step a little bit closer here. You're going to be stepping your legs comfortably wide, maybe not as wide as warrior two. Turn your toes out just a little bit and bend your knees a little bit or maybe a lot. And
Hi,
as you
Heidi.
turn here, I
Heidi?
feel like my lighting got a little light. Yes.
Yeah, it could turn on a light. Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
Like my computer just decided to get dark on me. I'll stand closer. I think that's better. Great. All right. So if you stand with your feet a little bit wider, I know you can't see my feet, but bend into your knees a little bit or a lot, however that's comfortable for you. And then bring your hands back into the hand block. So right hand in front, left hand, hold there, soften the shoulders, elbows floating out. Allow the breath to come in for you. A little energy is building because trying to move away from hard, bad habits, trying to build and cultivate the healthy habits, even doing habits that are healthy for us, getting on the yoga mat, exercising, choosing different foods, getting to bed early at night. That can be hard even when they're healthy. So you might feel a little energy in the legs build, but let the breath come in, holding the mudra. And now just for 2 breaths, we're going to count with it. So holding the mudra, take a breath in for 1, 2, 3, and breathe it out. 3, 2, 1. Just one more time. Breathe it in. 1, 2, 3. Breathe it out. 3, 2, 1. Gently release your legs. Release your arms by your side. Give yourself a moment to walk your feet in back to mountain. See how the legs feel. Shift your attention to even that release. I'm no longer in that horse stance. That feels delightful. And that is also for me when I do things in my movement practice, that reminder, remembering my why and how that feels. What is it going to feel like when that yes habit starts to be stronger, more stable, more present in everyday life? So thank you for this time of movement and breath. We're going to go back to Laurel as she shares a special technique with all of us.
Oh, thank you, Heidi. Oh, I feel so balanced and refreshed. I don't know about you all. At this point, if you'd like to add anything to the chat, feel free to go ahead before I start this other short piece we're going to do before we get into some juicy science with Julie. I can't wait because it's wonderful. But we have a few minutes together. So if you'd like to put something in the chat that, any questions you've had so far, anything specific to you that you'd like addressed a little bit more right now, because we've gone over quite a bit about bringing awareness to the habit that we want to change, reframe, understand better. Why am I doing that? What drives me to do that? And what are the roots of it? And how can I help myself, honestly, without shaming or, oh, I tried that and it didn't work. And, oh, I just feel bad about myself again. It's like, oh, no, please. These things are hard. And these things came about for a reason. You don't like the reason anymore, maybe, but they came about for a reason. Okay. Well, we'll ask you again if you want to share at the end. But I'll go into sharing this acronym. Sometimes acronyms are fun. They can be an easy way to remember how to help yourself. So this acronym is SOBER, and it's sober, but it doesn't mean for alcoholism. It can, but it doesn't have to. It just happens that it turns out to be the sober breathing breath. So now we're going to start with kind of noticing what you noticed before when we did that riding the waves with your urges and cravings. So whenever you're feeling the urge to do something that you don't want to do, stop. So the first letter of the sober is to stop. Become aware of just what's going on with you. Like, oh, I'm going to do that thing that I don't want to do. Okay, I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to observe what's going on in my body. What is triggering in my body to do what I want to do, but don't want to do. My body's leading me to do this, but I'm saying, I don't want to do that anymore. So what's the conflict? What's driving you to, what is the urge and craving about? So that's the observation in the body. What am I feeling? Is my stomach tense? Is my throat tense? Am I breathing shallowly? Do I need a relief in some way that this habit would give me? And then also emotionally, what am I feeling emotionally? So observing in the body, your emotions, your physical sensations, and your thoughts. Like, oh, I have to have this. I mean, if I don't do this, something bad's going to happen. Or I have to do this. And again, the feelings of, oh, I feel so scared. I feel so anxious. I feel so sad. I need to do this to relieve something in me. So that's the O part. And then the B is bring breath into it. Bring some deep cleansing breaths. You know, you might need more than two to just kind of help you let go. And then in that breath, expansion will occur. That's the E part. Expansion will occur. And when you expand, kind of like step out and look at what's happening. Like if you were in a space shuttle and you kind of went out and you could observe what's happening, you get that with the breath and you get some expansiveness. You can look at yourself and go, oh, look at myself. I'm so tense right now. I'm so needy of this behavior, and have empathy. You can bring in some empathy and compassion at that point of, oh, look at, what do I need? What does that me need? What does that me really need? Do I need to journal? Do I need a hug? Do I need to cry? Do I need to call a good friend? What is it that would really get to the root of that urge and craving? How can I really attend to myself? And then that's the R, the respond, the responding versus reacting, like automatic pilot. I just have to do it. Just reacting versus now you can respond. And this is practice. Is this practice? Yes. Is this intention? Yes. And does this take lots of time, depending on the behavior that we're going to change? It can take a lot of time, and you might need help with it. You know, sometimes it's not fun doing it alone. So again, sober, stop, observe, breathe, expand, and respond. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is a lot we're sharing today. So hopefully we'll have some good conversation at the end. Julie, please.
All right. Thank you, Laurel. And, they had asked, I wanted to go last with science because I think we need to be getting the right space of mind and understand what the tools are, because I'm going to talk about creating a game plan. So what we're mostly going to go over is understanding how your brain works will give you a lot of sympathy as to why you hold on to habits. Your brain is trying to do you a favor. And if you understand how the reward system works, you can hack it. And what we think will help, willpower does not work. And I'm going to really show you, you do not need to berate yourself because your brain is set up to not let go of habits for a very good reason. So think about a time where you might have stayed someplace new, someplace unfamiliar, relatively unfamiliar. Well, all of a sudden, all the habits you normally go through in a day are kind of thwarted. You're like, where's the bathroom? And where is my toothbrush going to go? And what's going to be available for me to eat? And how do I get my coffee or tea in the morning? Everything becomes new, and we have to think about it. And a lot of people say, oh, well, when I first get someplace, I got to settle in. What does that mean? Well, we have to kind of become familiar, and then our brain is very quick to do this. We'll set up a new set of habits. A window will be open. Hey, new situation. We need to learn a couple new habits so that we can get through the day. So the brain is your friend. It made sense. Any habit you have, whether you consider it good or bad, like Laurel and Heidi said, it was designed, your brain thought it was doing you a favor. And learning and thinking about a behavior takes a ton of energy. I know for me, like the first day of a vacation, I'm just like, I don't want to do too much. I just want to get in the rhythm of things. What I'm saying is I want to develop a set of habits so I don't have to think about day-to-day stuff, so that I can spend my energy on the fun that I'm going to do, right? And the brain helps you out and says, okay, I'll make it a habit. And it sets and forgets. So I'm going to talk, Dr. Judson Brewer, I'm not going to play his video, but I'm going to make a reference to it. But he came up with that term, set and forget. Our brain does not want to relearn every little thing. Even like if I take water and I open it up, picking it up, opening it up, turning it to drink, those are all little mini habits our brain has set and forgotten about. We don't have to think about it. And thus, it is very hard to access and change those set habits, and willpower alone isn't enough. So in a way, what we want to do is change the dials on what behavior is rated as super rewarding and good, and which behaviors are super, kind of not terrible feeling and quote bad. And we want to get access to these dials. We want to turn up broccoli and we want to turn down cake, right? Or something like that. But unfortunately, our brain puts it in a little safe because it doesn't want to relearn it. And so it's almost like it's in a little protective safe. And we can't, and willpower alone is like taking the handle of that safe and rattling in it and knocking on it with a hammer, and it's not opening. And we're just like, oh, I'm such a failure. I'm so terrible. But really, we're just doing it a little bit off. So this video, which I highly recommend, Anthony's going to send it to you, just shows that the reward system sets a rating on every behavior that we do, like broccoli. We want broccoli to be high, but really it's kind of low. We want cake to be low, but it's really high, and we ate the whole cake, right? And the cake, the video was set a long time ago when we were, at birthday parties, and there was celebration and presents, and it makes us feel good and comfortable and loved, right? So what we have, and I don't know if you can, for me, my little pictures are in front of it, but our brain is, what we consider our thinking brain, our rational cortex, is sitting on top of a very, very old reward system. It is in essence the same as a mouse. And we are thinking that by thinking, I should do this, I shouldn't do that, we can get access to this little mouse brain. And it doesn't work. And in fact, the word shouldn't should be little triggers. And so we end up hurting ourselves because we end up feeling shame and self-loathing, which makes us want comfort. And then we use those habits to provide comfort, right? It just doesn't work. We have an aversion to the discomfort of guilt and shame. There's this element of feeling bad for, yourself if you're harming yourself with smoking or eating the wrong foods or something, like, oh no, this is bad for me, I should do this. But then we end up, it mostly becomes feeling bad about feeling bad. All of a sudden we, all these thoughts come in about, how ashamed we are, how horrible we are, we can never do this, blah, blah, blah. And so we might avoid completely, we might not think about what is surrounding the habit. We might blame, the world around us or ourselves, which may have some elements, or we might give up. It's just the way I am. I'm just an angry person and I lose my temper. I'm just a smoker and that's the way it is, or we think that a long protracted guilt is going to be necessary. Like, I have to feel super, super bad because that badness will motivate me to do good. And it probably can to some extent. And that's why your brain set that as a habit. Feeling guilty became a habit for you. Self-loathing became a habit for you because it somehow made sense at one point in time in the brain that, oh, if I feel bad about myself, I'll be motivated to do good or do better. But unfortunately, it can really go astray. And we need to update the information by opening that safe. The way to open the safe, as Laurel said, as Heidi said, awareness. And so we need to hack the way our reward system works. And so if you've ever heard of Pavlov's dog, the little bell can ring and the dog can salivate. Well, you might have something happen whenever you kind of give into a habit and you're like, shoot, or I'm so stupid. It might be something kind of terrible, something like that, right? Well, you could use it as a trigger. You can be a little bit playful, not berate yourself for berating yourself, right? That could go too far, right? So instead, I'm so stupid. Warm intention. I'm gonna apply awareness to this. Okay. Really, yay. I for all the right reasons, I have a conscience and I feel, some responsibility and a little bit bad about the behavior. And so now the response is, it's noble and human to feel regret. So you said, I'm so stupid. And oh, yes, it's noble and human to feel regret. And then you can start to, instead of going down the train of, self-loathing, you could say, oh, wait, hold up. What really causes? How can I prevent it in the future? Are there some strategies I could apply? Could I make things right? This will help make the world a better place. You can feel really good about it, but you need to reward yourself every tiny little inch along the way. So the healthy choice needs to be the easy choice. So strategery can help. And so, this story from the Blue Zones, this gentleman was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, went back to his native Icaria, Greece, which happens to be one of the places in the world where people live to be 100. They're happy, they're healthy, and they've been studying, well, what do these Blue Zones have in common? Why do people in these locales live so long, so happy, so healthy? Well, it's because these habits are in their culture. They don't have to think about them. They just automatically, he just went back to Greece, was surrounded by friends, family, having, more relaxation, more healthy activity, eating a good Mediterranean diet because he was literally in the Mediterranean. And so he's just like, I guess I forgot to die. But really, he was surrounded by healthy habits and didn't have to think about it. Now, if we have to think about the habit, it's going to take a little more effort, but it's not for naught. We can do it. And what we do will have a ripple effect and help others as well, because we're creating a culture with our activities. So we might strategize that, hey, if you catch yourself in a habit, if you even catch yourself with a negative thought like, oh gosh, not again, you can, use that as a trigger for awareness. You might do the sober activity. You might do the hand holding or warrior 2, and use that to kind of lengthen that moment of awareness, or practice it every day. So when it does happen, you can call upon it. But then you can practically think of ideas now that you're comfortable with, sitting with curiosity and not unable to accommodate all that comes with those feelings. You can think of strategies. Okay, here's something I have been kind of messing up on that habit. I'm going to buy an expensive water bottle. Or I'm going, I paid $30 for this water bottle. I better use it, right? That might bring awareness because you made a sacrifice, or you might have an app that makes a little notification, something like that. There is a craving to quit app, for example, for smoking and other habits. Now, I have to put a warning about this, because if investing time, money, and energy into a habit might result in, if you break that habit or slip a bit, you might engage in even more self-loathing. If that is the case for you, don't fret. Your self-loathing is a habit that your brain set because it thought it was helping you out. And so the first thing you might need to work on is that habit. And mindfulness and self-compassion can really help with that. But you might also be kind of tricky and use that as a little backdoor to hack your reward system. Like, oh, I said that phrase, I'm so stupid. Approaching it with a little bit of humor. Everyone has something, a little quirk like that, right? And then, okay, I'm going to use that as a reminder for awareness, and then engage in one of these activities to lengthen the awareness and celebrate the fact that you had even a tiny moment, even if that tiny moment is there and you choose a tyrant, or you choose to, smoke a whole pack of cigarettes or whatever. If you had that moment of awareness, still celebrate yourself, because that's the first step. That moment of awareness, if it doesn't turn into self-loathing, can lead you out of that habit. And then gradually you might be able to follow up, I'm so stupid, with, oh, no, I'm good. I'm working on this. I was aware. That's good. I caught myself breaking the habit, and that gives me something to work with. And so you can gradually start to, change your language, but always celebrate. Yay, you. you're not going to become an egomaniac. You're reinforcing your good self-talk. You're reinforcing the good behavior, and you're reinforcing awareness. And your brain needs that reinforcement in order to set the new habits. So celebrate, have a glass of water. I also recommend this Atlas of Emotions. I'll have Anthony send it out. It's really a great way to learn about how emotions work and how awareness can help. But in sum, we want to reset our values of different behaviors. We want to turn those knobs, but it's within a safe. And what is the key to the safe? Awareness. And once we have awareness, and then also self-compassion, making friends, holding hands with yourself, loving, caring about yourself and others. You can open up that safe, be comfortable, and accommodate the discomfort of, oh yeah, I messed up on that habit. And then that will allow you to reset those dials, and you'll get into learning mode. Just like when you're in vacation or in a new place, you're getting into learning mode, and that helps you reset the things in your reward system. Celebrate every little step along the way, and then hack your brain by increasing the reward, by really talking it up with yourself. Like, wow, I might have slipped up, but I caught it. That's a great step. I'm on my way. Really, you can change the languaging, and that languaging, your reward system hears it and it acts accordingly. So, and then also knowing that the negative self-talk is a habit that your brain set because it thought, hey, if I really, punish myself with this negative self-talk, I'll really be motivated to change. Your brain was trying to help you out. So don't get too hard on yourself about being hard on yourself. But, understand that the approach isn't that helpful. So I saw that there were a few comments in the chat, and so I thought maybe now we could have a little discussion and then end with a short little meditation on compassion. So the lack of a good habit. Okay, so water is the habit that I've been I'm chronically dehydrated. So I'm actually doing something instead of drinking water. So I have the habit of prioritizing busyness over water. Like I could go and get water, but instead I could answer these emails. And so even a good habit has to replace some other behavior. And so you can celebrate every time you do get your water, like, yay, I remembered to get water. And then you can say, wait, if you're, choosing emails over water, why? So I think that everything you're having to replace something. Let's see. Any other thoughts? I do think it'd be nice to end with a little compassion meditation. So if there aren't any additional thoughts, maybe we could yes, you can even do it at the same time. The idea of breaking the habit of negative self-talk first. The mindful curiosity is also a really good step along the way. Just being curious about what comes up in your mind develops a friendship automatically, and then stuff can flow through from that. Can you give yourself kudos if your brain simply won't get fooled? Yes, you can, because you're noticing it's an early step. The fact that you even notice, like I sometimes will put up, I think I even had one up here, like little sticky tabs, reminding me like, oh, drink water or something. And my brain will be like, ha, 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 ha. I'm looking right at you, a Post-it note.
Yeah.
So,
I got my Post-it notes too.
So you're having a little humor and realizing you have to switch up your techniques sometimes quite a bit, because your brain is really wily.
And you bring up a good point, and Laurel, you might be able to speak to this really well too. But it's not, as they say, like the Pollyanna concept, of like saying, oh, the yay you and everything's great. And that's not the Band-Aid. It's more that sincerity of, oh, I did have a moment. I did have a moment of clarity or remembering my why, even if it was for a moment, like Julie said, like, then you might end up going on the tirade, right? But you did have a moment where you pulled back, or, the sticky note, and you laugh at that sticky note. But then over time, when the habit is like the little things we do that then start sticking to us in the way that supports us. But we have to keep that sticky note up there, keep it up there. And if the stickiness falls off, we'll get yourself a new sticky note and put it up there. Or maybe it's the phrasing, the wording, or maybe it's the food. Maybe it's not broccoli that's going to be the thing. Maybe it is kale. Maybe you like kale better, so go for the kale over the broccoli, right? But we have that curiosity, as Julie kept saying. We have a little humor with it. We take the little steps, we take the little snacks, we take the little bites, what's working for us, what's not, even along the path of a good habit. We're going to find things that we need to weed out as well. Laurel, I don't know if you want to speak to this
No,
as well.
you're both saying it beautifully.
Mhm.
Totally. Yeah. And you're I like your brain is wily, because you've got a part of you that goes, oh yeah, sure, right. but the more you work with that part, and there are many parts to us, the more you work
Mhm.
with the parts, the more they're going to see, okay, this is a team effort. Oh, this is for the greater good. Oh, okay. It's not like we're going to turn into a sloth if we don't stay on it and, do it this way. It's like, it's not all or nothing. And it's little by little, little by little. Just think of the turtle and the hare, it's little by little. Okay. Yep. Julie, would you like to do the compassion?
Sure, unless there's something else.
I just wanted
I
to
think-
share one more thing along this line of the Wiley side of again why I lean into breathwork and movement and more in my body is because it brings in a little more sense of play for me towards the habits I want to break and build. Because in my mind, I have the story of like told to do something. Like I told you, like told you to do this. And sometimes that comes in for my, don't eat the ice cream, eat the broccoli, that type of thing. I'm like, oh, so it's coming around. So for me, it's like finding something with the curiosity, with play, with kind of breaking out of that in any way I can to reframe, recontextualize.
Yeah, the body is really important, I think, for habits, because it's going to get it, because we think we can think our way out of it, and it can be part of it, but without incorporating the body, I think we're going to have a really hard time. But then that has to become action. So,
Right.
but start simple. This one I like a lot. I actually, I once maybe was exposed to this, but I really like that partnership with because often we feel like we're almost like two people. I'm berating myself. Anyway, it's very good. Flip it on its head.
Yeah.
So, pathological demand avoidance. Well, that's why I think it has to be a bit fun. I'm going to really enjoy I'm really focusing on like, I'm really going to enjoy my life more when, and so it becomes less of a should and more of a almost maybe picturing what life will be like once we've overcome a bad habit or established something beneficial. That might be like, oh yeah, that's going to be awesome. That could help. Anthony is clapping.
Yeah, no, I was just co-signing. It's a good visualization.
That's cool. Anything else before we kind of end on a little? I thought we would take ourselves through a compassion meditation, through a memory of maybe having a little slip with our habit. I'm going to use, yesterday I did not drink one solitary glass of bottle of water, not even one. But that's because I was I'm staying someplace different. I was out of the rhythm of my habits, but I also do that on a regular basis. So remember a time where you might have slipped on a habit, and we're going to kind of go through the process of being very gentle with ourselves and then strategizing. Okay. So first, we want to center ourselves. We want to sandwich this with mindfulness. So just finding our breath, maybe just taking 3 breaths where we really are with our breath. And now we're going to use our imagination to think of a situation where we caught ourselves slipping into a habit. Maybe the same habit that Laurel was talking about, or one that we were trying to establish or get rid of. And now, okay, oops, you know, made a slip, very human. What went on in your mind? What kind of trigger words or trigger body reactions? Do you feel something in your body, like a tension? Do you find a repetitive thought pops up when you catch yourself, you know, disappointing yourself in a way? And now accommodate that feeling. This is what's happening right now. Yes, you slipped. Yes, you had an even more, you know, self-loathing reaction that might have made it a bit worse, or maybe, you know, you were just aware of it. Now open up that window, the learning window. Okay, how can I strategize to make it less likely to slip in the future? Is there a context of why I slipped? Was I really hungry? Did I really just need a Snickers because I was hangry? Was I stressed around people that were doing something similar? And I'll think of a couple practical things that might help. Maybe it's, oh, I'm really going to memorize the SOBER acronym. I'm going to, as soon as I catch myself, do the hand thing or do warrior 2 pose. Now try to make that healthy choice an easy choice. I'm going to make it really easy to eat the food I want to eat by making it ahead of time, and I just have to heat it up or something like that. Very easy stuff. Now, wow, celebrate. Yay, you. Oh, yeah, I caught it. I allowed myself, even in this imaginative session, to think about this uncomfortable topic. Yeah, I'm on my way. I could do it. And if I slip again, I'm just going to go through the process again. Maybe I need to tweak something. It's okay. The learning window's open. About ways that you can really feel good about yourself and make it super rewarding. Maybe you even have a little, you know, chocolate for yourself, or a little, allow yourself to kind of relax. Praise yourself. Now, coming back into your body, taking a breath. Dropping the topic, opening your eyes, and getting on with the rest of your day. So I hope we had something that might be helpful to everyone. You know, if not our techniques, maybe find something that can help, because the habits do need support. There are lots of apps. The Craving to Quit app by Judson Brewer is a really good one. It does seem to be a little bit more of a smoking lean, but I think you can do it for other habits. Reminding yourself to be aware and hacking your brain, being very gentle.
Yes.
Any other concluding statements, Heidi or Laurel?
No, you've said it all, Julie, so well.
That was
And
great.
thank you all for coming and being with your habit, being with something that you want to help yourself change, heal. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Mhm. Have a beautiful week.